Okay, this is a video to show how to install the 2013 Watson Racing 4-point roll bar. Now there's some tweaking that you're going to have to do. You need to take out the rear seats, obviously. I've installed the seat delete kit. I took out the side panels in the rear. I've also taken out all the seats. So what we had to do was pre-assemble the unit inside the car, as you can see here, so that we could mark out the bolt holes on the gussets on the left side and the right side. As well, we're going to mark out the rear stiffener legs for the back and then pre-drill all the holes. One of the things we have to do once we mark it out is take these gussets out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts on each side, I believe. And then pre-drill the holes. Once the holes are pre-drilled, we can install the backer brackets to the gussets with rivets. The one side of the seat bracket, which is the passenger side, has to have a 7/8 hole drilled so that the gusset will sleeve over the cross member framing once it's back in place, because these brackets make it a little snug, so you got to make room for it. On the back side, the plates go underneath the chassis of the body, where the axle goes, and then you drill the holes, put the plates underneath. There's 2 bolt holes on top. As you can see, the center holes for the kicker plates are much larger. What ends up happening is these bolts would be the bottom side of the bracket underneath the car, and the 2 top holes, the center, hold it in place, while the 4 bolt holes hold the actual stiffener arm. So we're going to pre-drill the holes, make the marks, pull it out, put all the brackets in, and then install it. So we'll come back in a few minutes once it's installed to show you how it came out. Okay, we're returning here with the gusset brackets both on the passenger side and the driver's side removed. So what we need to do now is go over to the bench, look at where we marked our holes, drill the holes through with a pilot hole, then the right size bit for the final hole, and then we take this bracket, bolt it through on the back side, and then we'll drill 2 more holes to hold this bracket in place with rivets. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. One note, the subframe that's underneath the gusset shows that it needs to have a 7/8 hole drilled out so that the gusset will slide back into place without having any friction on the subframe. Something to keep in mind before you put these back in. All right, so we have both gussets out of the car and the holes drilled and reamed out, front and back side, for these gusset plates that are going to hold the actual roll bar in place. We marked everything so that we can bolt it back together and then actually put the rivets in without it moving, keep it in its proper location. Now I got the hole lined up both on the outside of each gusset plate, marked out here and on the other side, so that when the gusset plate itself sits over, it has the clearance for the bracket to slide right over. So as you can see, I got the 7/8 bit with the drill. We'll drill this hole, we'll put these brackets back in place and begin the full installation of the roll bar. We already got the back brackets in. Everything's bolted in up top. We lined everything up, marked out all the holes. So right now it's just plug and play. Okay, we're back to the gussets, both driver and passenger side. In front of me, I have the driver's side gusset, and off to the right here, I have the passenger side gusset. Now, we already reamed the holes here for the two anchors that need to go in, rivet anchors, and then we'll pop those in, and then we'll be able to keep in place the actual brackets that are going to support the roll bar from the inside. So we marked everything out prior to drilling these holes to make sure everything lined up properly, so that when they go in the car. We don't have to fight to make sure we get these bolts in. Okay, we're finished with the install of the rivet, and now we have the actual gusset being installed on the other side. As you can see, the backer brackets are riveted to the gusset plate on both sides. Now we can put this back into place. One's going in already, sitting real nice. We're going to put the other one in, and then we'll be able to put the frame for the roll bar in. All right, we're getting moving here with the brackets and gussets in place. We're going to hit it with the impact tool just to make sure that everything's torqued down properly and go from there. Right, so we have the main bar in, as you can see here, and getting these side panels back in was a little bit of a challenge. We had to cut around here just for the flange of the actual roll bar cage, but that's fine. That was the easy part. It was squeezing this section through this little narrow opening in order to get it to fit again. But now we're reaming out the holes for the two stiffener rods that go to the back there. Gives us a little bit more in a way of play, because if you don't ream them out, you're going to have a problem. My recommendation is that you ream out the flanges as well on the roll bar cage itself. But the biggest part was getting this in, so it's in, and now we put the two stiffener rods in. Okay, so now we have the two stiffener bars coming in and being bolted down into place. The backer plates are underneath the car. We actually had to go underneath this car and jack it up, put some jack stands and the jacks as safety, one on each side to install the plates. As you can see, there they are, one on each side. The center bolts are for attaching the plate to the bottom end of the car to keep it in place. And then the other 4 bolts are for actually tying down the rods. Now, there's 2 rods, as we both know, all know. They have Allen bolts on both sides that you have to tighten down into place, and then they get bolted down right there on the back side. So, as you can see, we are finished with the installation of the Watson Racing 2013 Mustang GT roll cage. It's a 4-point roll cage. I had the seat delete kit, carbon fiber, so I had to cut out some holes on each side in order to make the roll bar fit. But looks great, very stiff and sturdy, very happy with it. Now all I got to do is get my X brace, put that in, maybe a little neon light, and wait for the supercharger. Well, I hope this blesses you, because there was no other video for the 2013 Watson Racing roll cage kit installation. God bless.